Hey guys, so now that it is the end of June or almost the end of June, I thought I would sit down and do a project pan update. I usually like to film these videos like every 3 months, and I think the last time I did one was back in March. So now that we are halfway through the year, I thought I would update you guys and let you know how I'm doing. I have used up quite a few products and I've definitely hit pan on other ones. I'm thinking about doing a video at the end of the year where I show you all of the makeup I've used up, not just the products in my project pan. So if you would be interested in seeing that, let me know. But I've really been focusing on my collection. I have purchased some new products over the past month just because it's been a while, but even still, I do try to make sure I'm using what I already have, enjoying older favorites. A couple of months ago, I did a video on how to shop your stash and just kind of enjoy the products that you already own. So I'll link that video below if you guys want some tips, but I know that a lot of people aren't buying as much makeup this year. So a project pan might be a great way to challenge yourself to use some older products, just focus on your current collection. So again, I'll link that video below if you guys want, some tips on what I do to kind of focus on what I already have. But let's jump into it and I'll share my progress and let you guys know how this year's project is going. So as a reminder, I did finish up 3 products during the first 3 months of the year. So when I filmed my March update, I let you guys know that I used up the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist, which is one of my favorite face primers. I also finally finished up the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This took me forever to get through, but I did use it pretty consistently for like a year and a half, so I did use this one up. And I also used up the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. So I guess when I filmed that first video, I'd only used up 3 products. So since then, I have finished up 3 other products and then made really good progress on other ones. So I did use up 2 brow pencils, including the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in the shade Rich Brown. This isn't my favorite brow pencil, and the reason why I put it in my project pan is because it works well enough. It's just not something that I would repurchase. So I was able to get good use out of it, and the reason why I don't like it as much as some of the other formulas is because I definitely prefer more of like a rich pigmented brow pencil, and I did find that this one was a little bit waxy. If you prefer not even like a subtle brow pencil, but you don't need something super intense or really rich with really great color payoff, you might enjoy this one, especially if you go for more of a natural brow. But I definitely have very sparse brows, so I feel like overall I need something that's just going to be pretty bold as soon as I apply it, which is why I do love the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. I also used this one up completely after I use up, the majority of brow pencils in my collection, because I do have a few that are open. I think I will end up repurchasing this one. It's pretty affordable. I think it's like $5 or $6. And the reason why I like this one so much is because it's just really rich. So as soon as you start drawing strokes on your brows, it doesn't take a lot of effort to get the color to show up well, and it doesn't feel waxy. It's just really, really nice. And then I also used up the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. This is just a translucent loose powder. I was kind of using it as more of a finishing powder, so it did take me a little while to get through it, because when you use a powder as more of a finishing powder instead of a setting powder, you don't need a lot of product. So I'm glad that I was able to use this one up, because again, I did like it enough to use it fairly regularly, but it's not something that I feel like is a necessity in my collection. I'm also working on using up the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. I thought I would be done with this by the time I filmed this update video, but I just have a really small amount left. As you can see, I've used up the majority of this, so I think I should be able to use it up completely within the next 2 weeks. So I'm pretty much counting this one as finished, but I will continue to use it until it's all gone, because this is an expensive powder and it does a good job. I used it today to kind of blend out my bronzer, my blush, and it just kind of helps to smooth over any harsh lines, without adding too much powder or coverage to your skin. There are 2 other products that I'm making really good progress on. I should be able to use these up within the next few weeks, definitely by the time I do my next project pan update. So the first one is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum. This has been in my collection for a while, and I can't seem to finish it up. I feel like it's a never-ending eyeliner, which can be good, but it's not my favorite formula. I do love the Urban Decay Perversion liners, so typically when I do winged liner, that's the one that I go for. If I don't care about my makeup lasting all day, like 12 hours or more, I'll reach for this one, because it's not quite as long lasting as the Urban Decay Perversion, but it does the job, especially if I'm just wearing it on top of like a matte eyeshadow. So I've been trying to use this one like a couple of times a week just to, use it up completely. And when I use this, I don't have to use the Urban Decay Perversion. So obviously that one will last a little bit longer, and that one's pretty expensive. So I'm making progress on this one. It has to be almost gone because I've been using it for a while, and I do feel like it's drying up a little bit. So by the time I do my next update, I should finish this one. I'm also almost done with the Bite Beauty Agave Plus Lip Balm. I thought that this one would have been finished by now. I just have a very, very small amount left. And again, I should be able to use it up completely within the next week or two. This is a softer lip product, so it doesn't take a lot for me to use it up, but I think I must have misplaced it because I can't remember the last time I used this, and I was like collecting all of the products for this video, and it was kind of in the back of a drawer. So now that I know where it is, I should be able to use it up very quickly. I honestly thought that I would have hit pan on this product by now. This is the Becca highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. I am so close, and every single time I use this, I think I'm going to hit pan on it. You can definitely see like a dent right in the center of it, and I swear like the next time I use it, I should hit pan on it. I can almost see the pan underneath. So I am so close to hitting pan on this, and I can't wait until I actually do because I've never hit pan on a highlighter ever. I've had this one for a few years, and I use this one probably like 4 or 5 times a week, pretty much whenever I'm wearing highlighter, unless I'm wearing more of a cool toned look. And I can't believe that I still haven't hit pan on it. So I'm getting very, very close. It has to be within the next few weeks, and definitely by the time I do my next project pan update. It's actually been so beneficial having this product in my project pan because every time I think about buying a new full-sized highlighter, I remind myself how long it's taking me to actually hit pan on this one and not even use it up completely. So these days when I see a color that's really appealing to me, I just kind of shop my stash and look for something very similar and make sure to get use out of that because it takes forever to use up highlighters. And it's so crazy because when I read through the comments on my project pan videos, a few of you guys have been able to use up highlighters completely. I think it's just one of those products that I'm really light-handed with. Like I go through powder really fast, and I know a lot of people aren't able to go through powder that quickly. So it's just interesting to see, who uses up which products in their collection quickly. So I have 4 products that I'm making slow progress on, but I think I will use them up by the end of the year. And then I have a couple of products that I probably won't finish up. One product that I'm actually taking out and a few that I'm adding in. So I'll finish up with those in a second, but I am working on these 2 primers from Catrice. By the end of the year, I think I will be able to use them up completely. The first one is the Catrice Prime and Fine Pore Refining Anti-Shine Base. And I think I'll be able to use this one up maybe by the time I do my next project pan update. This is one of my go-to primers during the spring and the summer. I used it today, and I think I have maybe like 20% of the bottle left, so I'm definitely getting there. I just kind of use it a couple of times a week. It makes my skin very smooth, and it does mattify my skin. It's not as mattifying as a couple of other primers in my collection, so if it's really hot out or I have a really long day, I don't reach for this one as often, but it does create such a beautiful base, so makeup goes on top really nicely. And the other one is the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. There's probably like 25% of this product left, maybe 30. It's hard to tell when you can't actually see. This isn't something that I'll reach for until fall comes back around. I just kind of have it in the back of a drawer, so I won't make any progress between now and my next update, but I will make good progress on this during like the last 3 months of the year. And then I do have 2 more pressed powders in my project pan. So these are the 2 that I'm really going to be focusing on during the next 6 months. I'm really using one, and then I'll go back to the other one after I finish this one up. So the first one is the Urban Decay Stay Naked The Fix. I have the shade 20YW. I did put this in my project pan when I did my last update. So I've really been using this for like the past 3 months on and off. The reason why I put this in my project pan is because I don't love this formula. It's not something that I would repurchase, and I thought about decluttering it, but I do find that I can kind of make it work for me if I'm wearing more of a moisturizing base, like a tinted moisturizer. It's just not a super flattering formula. I do feel like it enhances dryness, or if I'm dealing with a breakout or texture, it just doesn't look very smooth on my skin. So typically if I'm doing like 5-minute makeup and I apply concealer or a tinted moisturizer, I'll kind of use this as a setting powder, and it does the job. It's not something that I love when I'm going for more of a full coverage look, or I just want more of like a flawless base, but it's something that I can use up, and because it is in my collection, collection, I do want to make the effort to actually use it up completely. The other powder might actually be a better option for summer because it is a little bit darker and the Urban Decay is a little bit lighter. So I might kind of switch these around. Either way, I will use them both up by the end of the year. This one is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Powder, and I have the shade LN3. I actually really like the texture of this powder. I feel like maybe it's being discontinued because it was on sale on their website. I did declutter a couple of Physicians Formula products from my collection because they are no longer considered cruelty-free, and that's unfortunate because they were one of my favorite drugstore brands. When a brand isn't considered cruelty-free, I don't automatically get rid of all of the products that are in my collection. You know, they're already in my collection, I already spent my money on them, and even if I did get them in the mail as PR, I just feel like it's very wasteful to just throw them away or declutter them. And if I can pass them along to other people, I do, which is what I did with like the blushes and the bronzers I had. But this was something I was already using fairly regularly, so I decided to put it in my project pan. It's a nice powder. It does a great job at setting my foundation into place. And if I can use it up completely, then I think that's great. So I am focusing on this one as well. Speaking of powder, there is a loose powder that I'm actually taking out of my project pan. That is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Mini Instant Retouch Setting Powder. I do have the shade Butter. This is just the mini, and I don't know what happened with this product because I was really enjoying it. I've used up almost half the product, which is pretty good. I have had this in my project pan for all of 2020, and I would use it on and off, but once I used up my main loose setting powder, which is the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder, I switched to this one. And there's something about the scent of this product that just really bothers me. It didn't used to bother me, and maybe it was because I wasn't using it all the time, so I would notice it, but it's not something that really mattered that much. But I don't know what's going on. In all of 2020, whenever I get a makeup product that has a strong scent, I feel like I can smell it all day long. So because of that, I just find that I'm not reaching for it very regularly. I do have half the product left and it does work well. So I'm just going to pass it along to somebody else who can enjoy it more than I do. But there's no point in keeping it in my project pan if I'll never reach for it. Because I am removing this one from my project pan, I did want to put another one in my project pan in its place. I actually forgot I had this product. It is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and again, this is a mini. So the Fenty powder comes with a lot. It comes with 0.27 ounces. The Cover FX powder only comes with 0.14 ounces, but I really haven't used up a lot of this. So I have the entire container to use up, and we'll see if I can do it by the end of the year. I do feel like I go through loose powder a little bit more slowly than pressed powder, but I've had it. It's just been sitting in my drawer. I mean, I completely forgot about it, so I wanted to pull it out and put it in my project pan and see if I could use it up completely. I'm also adding in the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. I think this was actually in my project pan last year, and I never hit pan on it, so I'm putting it back in my project pan, and the reason is because I've kind of been into bronzers lately, so I feel like I've been adding a couple of new bronzers to my collection, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to make sure I'm actually using what I have. So I do want to use this one up completely before I purchase any additional bronzers. I think at this point I have maybe like 4 or 5, which isn't a ton, but I feel like that's enough to last me a long time. So instead of adding new bronzers to my collection, I'm going to focus on what I have, this one included. And then I did add in a foundation as well. This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I put a little line where I'm starting, so I don't have a ton of this product left. I just feel like it's getting a little bit older. The texture hasn't changed completely, but this is something I enjoy, and I just want to focus on using it up before it does go bad. And again, I feel like it's just something I would like to rediscover. I've been reaching for a lot of other foundations lately, and I missed this one, so it will give me a reason to really focus on using it. The last two products are two things I don't think I'll be able to use up by the end of the year. I know I still have 6 months, but I feel like I'm making extremely slow progress on these. So I'm going to keep them in my project pan so I do kind of focus on using them, but I don't think I'll be able to use them up completely. The first one is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. I just made a line on like where I'm at with this product. I'm like halfway through it. I don't think I've made very good progress over the past few months. I think what I'm going to try to do over the next 3 months is to mix it in with some of my go-to concealers. I really like mixing complexion products, and sometimes I'm able to, use up products that I might not reach for as often if I mix them in with existing products in my collection. So I will give that a shot over the next few months. If that doesn't work, I might end up decluttering it just because I'm not reaching for it very regularly. But I do use it on occasion as a spot concealer if I have a breakout or you know, a little bit of scarring or discoloration. So I do feel like I use it on occasion, just not enough to use it up completely. So we'll see. We'll see if I make any progress over the next 3 months. If not, I might declutter it, but I do feel like I use it on occasion at least. The last one is the e.l.f. Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. Again, this is something that I typically use during the fall and the winter, so I haven't reached for it very much over the past few months. It's a really nice primer, but a little bit goes such a long way. So I wish they sold this product as a mini because I feel like I use this to kind of like spot prime. I won't use it all over my entire face. I'll just use it like around my nose or maybe right here, just anywhere where I deal with a little bit of texture or large pores. So a little bit goes such a long way. Again, it's something I'll probably pull out during the fall and the winter, but I definitely don't think I'll use it up. This was in my project pan last year as well. But I just thought I would update you guys on this. I mean, realistically, I've probably used up like this much of the product. I'm just going through it very, very slowly. So that is the end of my project pan update. I think by the end of the year, I should be able to use up the majority of the products in my project pan. And I do feel like I'm making really good progress. I put some products in here that take a while to use up, but in the end, it's really nice to be able to use things I already own instead of constantly purchasing new makeup. It's such a fine line for me because I like to purchase new makeup to review on my YouTube channel, but I'm also trying to be a responsible consumer and not use that as an excuse to purchase all of the new releases that I see that catch my eye. So I do feel like a project pan kind of helps me keep things in check and just kind of reminds me that I don't need to buy all of the new products I see that I do want. But I'll be sure to come back in a few months and let you guys know how it's going for me. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you are interested in learning some tips and tricks on how to shop your stash and maybe start a project pan, I'll link that video that I filmed below, or I'll link it. I think the related videos come up on the right side of the screen, so I'll link it for you guys there as well. But I hope you have a great day. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.